Our next question comes from Jake Blake. I wonder if he did that on purpose. In any case, Jake asks, do I think that buying an M1 Pro MacBook or MacBook Air is the best laptop you can get for Adobe Premiere Pro 4K video editing, short form content, and some apps like Discord, Topaz AI for video upscaling for under $1,000? Used off of eBay or from a sale, thinking about the 16 gigabyte model. And by Pro, he means the 13-inch model. Today's video is brought to you by eWin Racing, the best source for gaming chairs and desks for those long gaming sessions. We have a playlist of our eWin chair and desk videos linked in the video description below. Save 30% off of everything using the discount code TechDeals. More details at the end of the video. Oh boy, do I have some things to say here. Sit back and relax because I got something to get off my chest on this one. First of all, I have to give a disclaimer. I am not a Mac person. I used to be a Mac person. Something a lot of you may not know about me. I was huge into Mac in the late 90s. Now, I was huge into PCs at the time too, but I actually had a business for about 2.5 years in the late 90s of refurbishing, restoring, and selling Mac Power Macs. It has been a long time, what can I say? I had a business for 2.5 years in the 90s, refurbishing, restoring, and selling Power Mac PCs. Think way before Steve Jobs came back. Power Mac 6100s, 7200s, 7600s, 8500s, and the beige Power Mac G3. I didn't generally do anything newer than the beige Power Mac G3. They started to shift after that when they went into the colors and the sort of the fixed systems. But you could take those old systems. You could upgrade RAM, you could upgrade drives, you could add video cards, you could install an updated Mac OS on them. And so I actually bought used and pulled from like schools and stuff, pallets of just bare bones stripped computers. Many of them came with no storage whatsoever. Some of them came with like a small drive. And what I did is I opened them all up, cleaned them up, and sort of took all the parts. And if I had 100 PCs, I'd make 50 good working machines out of them. You know, RAM wouldn't work in this one, the video card wouldn't work in that one, and that one's hard drive was dead. Well, you move things around, you buy some hard drives, you buy some RAM sticks, you put it all together, you install the latest iOS 9 on them. Mac OS 9. iOS didn't exist then. It has been a long time. And I sold them on eBay, and I did a roaring job in the late 90s of that, selling those things on eBay, and people paid way too much money for them. But it was fun because the cool thing is this is, of course, before online activation and serial codes and everything else. You put the machine together, you had a Mac OS 9 disk in it, you stuck it in there, you turned it on, you booted it up, it installed, everything worked. It was wonderful. And I could load them up with tons of RAM and tons of storage for relatively cheap for what those machines would have originally come with and sell them off, and people loved to have them. It was great. Obviously, we'd end up with some broken machines and things that couldn't be repaired, blown power supplies, blown motherboards, stuff like that. But we would basically swap parts around until we got working machines out of it. It was a lot of fun. And I have great respect for that era of Macs. Unfortunately, Macs today left all of that behind. They are not upgradable, they're not changeable, they're not fixable. You buy an iMac desktop today and it's a laptop glued to a screen. You have this gorgeous 5K screen that you can't take with you. Okay, you video input. But the point is you have this computer in the back that's not upgradable. I distaste that. That annoys me as a tech enthusiast in the extreme. Now, in fairness, the question Jake asked was about laptops. This is a laptop. I cannot change the CPU. I cannot change the GPU. I can upgrade RAM. I can upgrade storage, but it is a big fat pain in the kashnizzle because you have to literally unscrew 14 or actually, I think on this one, it's 11 screws. 11 screws on the bottom, and use an iFixit plastic pry tool to go around the case and actually snap all the snaps off, take the entire bottom off. It's awful. This is an Asus ROG Scar 17, and Asus should be ashamed of themselves. There is no access panel on the bottom of this to access RAM and storage. So it's not just Apple. A lot of the manufacturers suck when it comes to upgradability, but at least you can. It's not like bonded and soldered and welded together like some of the Mac stuff is. In any case, so that's kind of my beef with Apple at the moment is they charge too much and you can't customize and you can't change it. If you could build a standard Power Mac desktop, which I guess they don't use Power PCs, they wouldn't call it a Power Mac, but I think Power Mac is such a cool name. I understand when they went to Intel, they left all that behind, but Power Mac. I have a Power Mac. I mean, it just sounds so cool. And then they went to MacBook. That's not an improvement. To this day, I still own several Power Macs. I have a Power Mac G3 Beige. I have the blue and gray, the tower that folds open to the side, Power Mac G4. I still have my original Apple IIg. I've used Apple products for many, many years. So whenever I answer a question like this and somebody says, well, you just hate Apple. I have an iPhone. I have an iPad. I own multiple Macs. I just don't like the current Apple, even though I use an iPhone 13. But I don't like the lack of consumer choice. If I could build a Mac desktop, I think Mac could own 25% of the desktop market. I think so many people hate Microsoft with so much passion. I know Linux exists. I think Mac could really have a real go of it. But unfortunately, Tim Cook, with all due respect, is not a visionary and cannot see past iPhone profits. So would I buy an M1 Pro MacBook? No. I don't like the limitations. I don't like the price. 16 gigs of RAM is insulting to me. Yeah, you can. I mean, short form content, fine. If you're gonna edit video on a Mac, why would you use Adobe Premiere Pro? My understanding is Final Cut Pro is far superior to Adobe. Adobe is kind of what you have to use on a PC. But then there's, well, Sony has Vegas, but there's other editing programs out there. But if you're on a Mac, the whole point of being on a Mac is so you can use Final Cut Pro. eWin Racing has a wide selection of chairs to fit all shapes and sizes of gamers, ranging from petite to cuddly. They have something for every type of gamer. Not just sizes, but colors and material options as well, including red, blue, purple, pink, orange, and more, plus cloth and leather choices. We have over half a dozen chair and desk videos in a playlist down in the video description below. We also have a very special offer just for Tech Deals viewers. Save 30% off of everything using discount code TechDeals using our link in the video description. We have used eWin gaming chairs for 3 years in our office, sitting on them for up to 8-hour marathon live streams. They are very comfortable, and we are happy to work with eWin to bring you this special discount and recommend eWin for all of your gaming chair and desk needs. I just wouldn't. And a 13-inch screen? Your eyes must be better than mine. How in the world are you going to edit 4K video on a 13-inch screen? This is a 17.3-inch screen, and if I could have a 20-inch screen, I would. Maybe that's just me. Given the fact that I have not used a current generation MacBook Pro, disclaimer time, maybe they're lovely. Maybe they would run Adobe Premiere Pro just fine. I don't even know. I did try an M1 Mac Mini. At the time I did, Adobe had not made M1 native apps. It was still running in compatibility mode and ran like crap. So if Adobe has now made native versions of their products, then it'll probably run fine. The world moved on to the IBM-compatible PC for a reason. I am of the opinion that Macs have lost their way, and I don't recommend it. But if it works for you, rock on, because at the end of the day, you are the only person who has to be happy with your choice.